What links creativity, conspiracy theories, and delusions? A phenomenon called apophenia. So, the theory goes, human brains evolved into belief engines and pattern recognition machines, keen to organize jumbled sensory inputs into meaningful data. We are also expert detectors of conspiracies in random events, whispers in radio static, and the Virgin Mary in grilled cheese. Sometimes these false positives create an orderly perceptual continuum that helps us think. They aren't strictly necessary, but they are at least usually benign. When I see a scowling man in the moon, or you see clouds that remind you of fluffy lambs, our brains are making the world a more diverse and beautiful place. Plus, every now and then, chaos offers up glimmers of order, see Ramsey theory. Yet apophenia can also lure us into false and damaging convictions. So apophenia cuts both ways. It's a profoundly human habit of mind that can underlie adaptive behaviors and reward flights of fancy or induce all kinds of paranoia and silliness. In 2001, scientists from the Key Institute for Brain-Mind Research in Zurich found that a hyper-associative cognitive style both nourished belief in magical or psychic phenomena and prompted divergent thinking, a measure of creativity. Another possible culprit in apophenia is dopamine. A 2002 experiment revealed that people with high levels of dopamine more often extract meaning from coincidences than those with lower dopamine levels. And when self-described skeptics, Team UFOs are fake, were given the drug L-dopa, which ups the brain's dopamine supply, they began to perform more like self-described believers, Team I can speak to spirits, on the same pattern-finding tasks. Likewise, when Brugger and his colleagues administered dopamine to a group of healthy adult men, that group proved more likely than a control group to notice visual similarities between random pairs of shapes. Personal accounts from manic patients fizz with an almost compulsive meaning-making. One clue. Just like people with schizotypal tendencies, people at risk for bipolar disorder often ace creativity tests. They seem to excel especially at the type of intuitive, open-minded thinking that results in surprising associations. Though he hasn't studied apophenia and bipolar disorder, Brugger says he would assume that you see connections everywhere in a manic state. Bipolar disorder is more prevalent in the United States than in other countries. More than 4% of Americans have ever met diagnostic criteria for bipolar disorder, as compared with a worldwide average of about 2%, according to a study that conducted face-to-face interviews with 61,392 randomly selected people in 11 countries, published in the March Archives of General Psychiatry. Because the data were not based on medical provider reports, the differences can't be attributed to higher rates of assessment or diagnosis, the researchers note. Max Sirius believe early Americans who fled religious persecution in Europe likely had higher average levels of dopamine and therefore higher occurrences of apophenia, i.e., out of the ordinary religious and philosophical beliefs and perceptions. It's my theory that this unique gene pool of Europeans biologically and philosophically founded a very unique, one might say exceptional nation, the United States. In my opinion, this unique combination of nature, genes, and nurture, culture, created American exceptionalism and the world's oldest living democracy. Mitch Horowitz's research confirms that from its earliest days, America served as an arena for the revolutions in alternative spirituality that eventually swept the globe. Esoteric philosophies and personas from Freemasonry to spiritualism, from Madame H.P. Blavatsky to Edgar Cayce dramatically altered the nation's culture, politics, and religion. Yet the mystical roots of America's identity are often ignored or overlooked. Opening a new window on the past, Mitch Horowitz's book Occult America presents a dramatic pioneering study of the esoteric undercurrents of America's history and their profound impact across modern life. By the 1830s and 40s, a region of central New York State called the Burned-Over District, so named for its religious passions, became the magnetic center for the religious radicalism sweeping the young nation. Stretching from Albany to Buffalo, it was the Mount Sinai of American mysticism, giving birth to new religions such as Mormonism and Seventh-day Adventism, and also to the spread of spiritualism, mesmerism, mediumship, table rapping, seances, and other occult sensations, many of which mirrored and aided the rise of suffragism and related progressive movements. The nation's occult culture gave women their first opportunity to openly serve as religious leaders, in this case as spirit mediums, seers, and channelers. America's social and spiritual radicals were becoming joined, and the partnership would never fade.